Hey guys, welcome back to 4-Wheel Drive is Life. Today, I'm going to show you how the Cybertake S2 Pro works for my Dirtbox Canopy camper. I've had a AC unit, EcoFlow Wave 2 before, and that thing completely broke on me within 2 or 3 times of using it. So I was just in the market for a portable AC unit just to take either the chill or the hot air out of my camper for sleeping comfort. And Cybertake just happened to reach out to me too for a review. So now I'm having this unit. I'm gonna testing out the heating function, the cooling function, and I want to show you the temperature curve of the heating and cooling with that in my canopy camper made by Dirtbox Overland, so that you have an idea whether this unit would perform the way you wanted it or not.
So see, I have it mounted or duct through the port of my sidewall of my door, and the hot air should be coming out. And the condensation tube goes into the corner there, which is wide open. And we'll see, I have a thermostat right there, and then one on the second floor at the end of the bed. I'm going to plot the temperature curve. Hopefully you can see the temperature drop profile once I turn this on. I could have another duct hose right here and then have the hose up to the second floor to make it more effective. However, I only have one adapter ring for this size. So for now, this one would just have to do. And I'll probably purchase another one after this. So I have it connected to my 2000 watt converter or inverter to my 5 kilowatt hour battery. My first time turning it on. Okay. Right off the bat, it's blowing cold air, or it's in AC cold mode because the blue indicator and the snowflake. So fan speed is low, medium. So there are 5 or 6 fan speed settings. I'll probably have a full blast, just maybe the max mode. How do I turn selected mode? Okay, eco, auto. I see, so there's only auto mode. All right, max fan, 68 degrees, or 66. I'll just have it in the max mode and see how effective this is. I'll give it probably an hour. What's that over there, you ask? That's exhaust port for my AC setup, and it's all right. So here's exhaust temperature. The center point is 50 Celsius. Maximum on the tube is 51, so the air coming out is definitely hot. The door is 40 Celsius in the sun. All right, a little update on the positioning of my AC unit. As you see, I just had it over there down here on the floor. However, the cold air wasn't able to reach out the second floor without the additional ducting adapter. So I improvised a little bit, kind of located this AC unit upstairs right by my bed, and still had it set on high fan speed and cooling mode, 66 Fahrenheit. We'll see. Everything else is the same. Everything else is the same. So we'll see how the cooling effect is with this setup. And this is what it looks like from the first floor. This is the setup. I like it. And the side of the tent. Wow, is that the hot spot? I see there's a hot spot. You see why? That's where the exhaust leak happens in there. I have a kind of like not finished exhaust pipe where it's coming off from that adapter. It leaks hot air a little bit. That's why you're seeing that. All right, so it's been an hour and 25 minutes. At about an hour mark, it went down from 85 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. And then it came back up a little bit. I suspect it's that hot exhaust air being leaked from the inside of the tent. So now I'm going to fix it by run that hose out directly out of the tent corner right there. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. All right, now I'm climbing inside of the tent. It's very cool inside. It's at a breezy 66 degrees. Setting center is at 22 Celsius. However, as expected here, you can see the hot air being kind of blow backwards at that gap, which is the gap right here. I can feel the hot air coming out. All right, I'm gonna use the AC, the factory ducting, and then turn this on. Okay, same setting, 66. All right, so this is the setting. So it's gonna be set up like that, and then we'll see how that does. Same setting, everything. So I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna keep it there for now, but right now it's just ducting right outside. All right. All right, it's been an hour and 15 minutes since I started this setup. The internal temperature has dropped to 65 Fahrenheit, which is amazingly well in my opinion, because I had it set on 66 and it's even lower than that right now. And wow, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool up in here. Definitely, I mean, even cold, I can feel it. Yeah, this is hot, but not as hot over here. There's no hot air leak from here, which is good. So in general, overall, I would think this setup is more adequate than the other one. The temperature down there doesn't really drop that much. The thermostat there dropped from 85 to 65. Okay, see the leak, the water going there? That's from the AC not being drained well. See, there's a slope. It's higher over here, lower over there. So I guess all the water went that way. Well, lesson learned. Don't run the AC in here at an incline where the front part is lower than the rear, because then the water won't be able to drain properly. And this is gonna happen. I'm glad I have a couple of days before my trip. All right, fast forward to 5 weeks later. It's finally cold or cool enough to test the Cybertake S2 Pro's heating function. So without further ado, let's get it started. All right, so that's popped. All right, power's on. Get my lights on. Light is on. All right, so this is my thermometer. Trying to put it somewhere. I think I'll just put it right here. Put it in there. So that's there, hanging in the middle of the tent section. Should work, should work. Alright, so this is my setup. Got my 5 kilowatt hour battery under there, another bench. Our 2000 watt inverter. There you go. So the mode right now. Okay, heating mode. I'm just go up to 90. Okay, 90 is the max. Okay, so I'll just keep it at 90. We'll see the temperature rise. I'll do max, and I'll see how long it will take for the temperature to rise on top of the tent right there. Okay, so the vent is orange, so it's blowing hot air right now. Not that loud yet. Having it venting to the outside of the tent right there. Oh, it's cranking up.
Just note that please have the front of the AC unit elevated so that any water condensation will come back out this way instead of backflowing somewhere that's leaking, which I had that problem. All right, so it's been exactly an hour since I started. The thermometer's temperature reading went up from 58 to 65. So initially it was pulling about 500 watts of power, and at about 30-35 minutes it went down to like 270 watts. Not sure what's going on, but it kept going. Now it's it's going back up to 500 watts consumption right now. The temperature is about 65, a little over 65, so it raised about 7 to 8 degrees in the first hour. I'm gonna keep running for another hour. I will report back and show you, how much the temperature rises in that 2-hour time frame. There it is inside running. All right, guys, it's been 2 hours, exactly 2 hours, and it's 57 degrees Fahrenheit outside. The internal temperature right now is at 69 Fahrenheit. So it was able to heat it up more than 10 degrees Fahrenheit. However, it's kind of stabilized at around that temperature. I'm going to show you the inside of the camper. It's pretty warm. It actually feels warmer than it actually is. I'm just worried about the water intrusion, which doesn't seem to be having any condensation problems. But it's pretty toasty in here. Yeah, it's blowing hot air. It's definitely warm. On the second floor, it's a little better because the heat rises. And my thermostat registers at 69, a little over 69 degrees. I would say it's more than enough, if it's not too cold, just to take the chill off the camper. And this is at the highest maximum power, 90 degrees maximum fan. It's using a good bit of power. Like it's around 500 to 570 watt per hour. With my battery size, I can only run it for like 90 or 9 hours ish, 9 to 10. Definitely a big power consumer right here. It's a huge appliance. Yeah, it's been working well. Also, the humidity dropped too. I'll put a chart on the screen right now. Yeah, so the concept definitely works. See, the bottom of my bed is definitely warm to the touch, which is nice. It's not too cold up there. I still think diesel heater is a way to go in terms of heating. Air conditioning or cooling is another thing. I feel like for cooling, I don't have much options. But for heating, I still prefer the diesel heater, given how efficient it is and how effective it is. Alright, so after testing it both heating and cooling function, I believe there are certain conditions you have to meet to be able to find this suitable or working well for you. For me, I definitely don't need its heating capability, given that the operational heating temperature of the Cybertake S2 Pro is minimum 50 Fahrenheit. But when I tested the heating yesterday, I was at 57 Fahrenheit. Definitely able to take the chill off the camper, making it more comfortable, but at the cost of at least 500 watt per hour of energy consumption. To me, that is a little bit on the power hungry side. However, for the cooling, it was able to cool down the camper from, I think it was 86 down to 66 Fahrenheit. That is a significant change. And there's not a lot of alternatives in terms of cooling. So I think for me at least, I find the cooling function of it much more useful than the heating. Plus I have a diesel heater. So whenever it's down to like 40 plus or 45 or below, I can just use my diesel heater. So yeah, so overall I think it's a great product. For the past 2 months of me using it, I didn't have any error or any problems with the unit itself. which in this AC world, it says something too, because my last AC was a EcoFlow Wave 2, and I've used it 3 times, and on the 3rd time it was like a hot summer night and it just quit working. I didn't even stress it that much. It gave me an error code of some fan error. I was not able to get a fix for that, even contacting the customer service. But the Cybertake S2 definitely feel like a more problem-free unit, at least for the past 2 months. So that is a plus. And it's much lighter and a little bit smaller than the EcoFlow's Wave 2 or even 3, I believe. It's about the same power consumption. So I think if you're considering a portable 12-volt AC unit or 48-volt, this is a great option. At the price, I believe this is more competitive offering than the EcoFlow Wave products. However, it's still up to your needs, right? Like if you don't need that heating function, I believe cooling is all you need, and I will probably mainly use it for cooling of my camper instead of heating. Yeah, so if you're interested in the product, please check out the link in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.